Pasta Vazul, baby.
Come on in.
Well, hello, Screamers! Welcome to the Scream Until You Like It podcast. I hope you're still screaming. I hope you're starting to like it. I am Clint Tentacles, which is a reference to the movie that we're going to be talking about today. And joined with me today is Mr. Canadian Boy Ryan from the Hormonal Werewolves and, of course, the Amityville Retrospective with a new video dropping just today. How you doing, sir?
Great. I really need to think about changing my name when we do these videos because I'm always the same guy. Like, you always change up your name.
How would you feel about making a change?
We fear change.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. That's all right. This was kind of a spur of the moment thing. This is an interesting opportunity. We are talking about a short film that was done mostly by Morrigan Thompson, who is now married, Morrigan Thompson-Milam or Milam. I'm never going to say that right until she tells me how she says it, but that's okay. I'm just going to wing it until somebody corrects me. At any rate, we were talking a little bit earlier about this, and I was made aware of this a few months back when she started the Indiegogo campaign for this. And the way I understood it, it was going to be some type of alien movie because there's tentacles and so forth in the artwork. And I think I kicked in like $10 to get like a shout out or something like that. And all at once on Facebook, I find out that she was looking for people to review this. I got tagged in the comments. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'd love to see that. And I'd love to get a sneak peek and to talk about it. And then I was like, well, I don't want to do it alone. And Mike's not going to want to do this. So I was like, who do I know who would possibly want to look at an independent movie like this? Ryan. Ryan's the guy. So here you
I
are.
have been known to dabble once or twice.
It's an important job. I need someone I can trust. You are my number one guy.
In lower budget movies, short films, independent stuff, shot on video. I mean, if it's a type of film, chances are you've seen one like it, right?
Mm-hmm. You're talking my bread and butter.
Me too. I'm actually wearing a shirt now. Hellman. Made by Tim Gross out in Pittsburgh.
I am not wearing an independent horror movie t-shirt.
No.
Wearing my Halloween 2 t-shirt.
You are wearing one of my favorites, Halloween 2. Awesome. Okay. So just to kind of give a brief synopsis of what this thing is about without giving anything away, because this is a spoiler-free review. So even though we saw the movie, we're not going to talk about any particulars about it other than what's already public knowledge. What I do know is from Morgan's Indiegogo promotion video that it is 4 friends who decide to rent an Airbnb in Amityville because this, of course, is part of a larger project. Donald Farmer is doing a Amityville Aliens series, and I'm assuming that it's going to be mostly short films, and they're going to kind of conglomerate them all together in some type of anthology. That's my guess.
Adding another one to the list.
Another Amityville.
Keep up with these.
I'm telling you, it's the gift that keeps giving, or as you say, the true curse of Amityville, the movies that never end. So anyhow, four friends rent an Airbnb in Amityville. The idea is that they want to like either use a Ouija board or use tarot cards or something like that to try to contact some spirits associated with, I guess, the Amityville murders. But instead, they somehow end up summoning an alien creature. And havoc ensues. So
pretty good.
Yes. So is it safe to say you like alien movies?
I do. Alien 3 is my favorite
Mhm.
horror movie of all time. I like everything from Alien to Predator to that really weird one where Christopher Walken was like listening to jazz music in the alien spaceship. Can't remember the name of it, but
I think that was called Communion, wasn't
that
it?
was it. That was yeah, Communion.
Is that what you mean? I must be awake.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love alien flicks because a lot of the time you get fun practical effects and goopy monsters, stuff like that, and that's right up my alley. And no spoilers, but this movie doesn't disappoint in that department either.
Yeah, very, very true. I myself am also an Alien fan. I'm a sucker for sci-fi. I can put on Tubi just about any day of the week and look for some ridiculous looking sci-fi movie and just put it on, and I'd be happy to sit there, and if it's good, great. If it's not, I'll laugh at it. I mean, it's a good time. I love space movies. So
The best thing to do. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say even Jason X, even that Hellraiser movie.
Bloodlines.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I was gonna say I friggin' love that about Tubi too. Like when you find just you pick a random movie, you think you might like it, and you're enjoying it, and you happen to fall asleep to it because you're watching it at night. You wake up at 4 a.m. because you're 40 and you got to piss, and there's the most batshit insane movie that you would never even think of watching that's playing, and you make sure you gotta like in your half asleep state, you gotta like pause the movie, and you're just like, I gotta remember that because you're going back to bed. You're not gonna watch the rest.
Yeah.
I fucking love Tubi for that. I found so many movies waking up at like God knows what hour in the middle of the night because I fell asleep to watching Tubi. I love it.
Yeah. Did you ever start one and just like within a couple of minutes like turn it off because they did something that you absolutely cannot stand with a movie?
Well, I mean, the only time I'd actually turn a movie off is if it does something that just is not my taste, which usually you can figure out when you're reading the synopsis. I'm a bit of a masochist when it comes to movies of bad. I'm a completionist, so even if I'm like 15 minutes in, I'm like, this is the worst fucking piece of shit I've ever seen. I'm like, I gotta finish it. I gotta know what happened.
Wow. All right.
So I have only ever walked out of one movie, and that is the remake to the House of Wax.
Okay. So at some point, there is a point of no return in a movie where you're like, all right, I'm finishing this regardless.
Yep. After
Okay.
about 2 minutes in, I gotta finish it.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called now, but there was a sci-fi movie. I was like, oh man, this sounds awesome. Judging from the description, of course, the poster art looks great, and I click on it, and the first thing it does is give me cards of like plot synopsis that I'm not going to see. And it's and
we
it's
didn't have the budget for this.
Yeah, it's a progression of about like 20 or 30 years worth of plot I'm supposed to digest in the first minute and a half of this film, and then they're going to start showing me a story. I was like, nope, I'm done, and I turned it off. So that's just the way it goes sometimes. Obviously we had Morgan in this movie. She brought along some friends: Toby, Joey Mann, Tim Hale, John Milam, Anthony Graziano, Michael Rock, and Stephen Bunn. These are the main characters that you see in the film. It's a very small cast, not a lot of set pieces, and I just kind of wanted to get your general impressions of this movie.
Well, right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, I looked at looked up the Indiegogo after I watched it,
Mhm.
and the amount of money they got, I don't know how they did it. They must have used every single penny and pinched every single dime, because the special effects in this are a riot. I've always kind of felt, especially with these micro budget independent films, it harkens back to me to like the 50s and stuff, when people were just learning how to do things. And you look at your 80s horror with your Nicoteros and Savinis. They've learned based on the techniques of the people before them, and they've kind of got a template to start with. These people in these micro budget films don't have the privilege of having the masters before them kind of walk them through the basics. So they're learning for the first time, much like people did when the advent of movie special effects were beginning. So a lot of these special effects remind me of those kind of just over the top. I don't want to use the term goofy, but a little goofy, but always fun practical effects that just are charming as fuck. And this
Yeah.
movie has a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and you hit it on the head there. Looking at the Indiegogo campaign, they had a very reasonable budget, I thought, of $5,000. They did not reach that goal. I think they were somewhere in the neighborhood of like 3,500, something like that, when they finally finished up. And the only reason that they wanted that much money was because they wanted to make sure everybody who worked on the project got paid. And they could have a good time, everybody could eat, all the human comforts, and making sure that your work is appreciated. So how much of it actually went into the production and paying for like locations or effects, I have no idea. I just know that somebody planned it out to where they had a pretty clear idea about how much money they were going to need in order to get people involved that they wanted and to accomplish certain things. So overall, I'm with you. The effects were great. I didn't mind any of them. It's like sometimes you can have a bad effect and get away with it if you do like creative editing or something like that, or sometimes you can't skirt it at all and you like can see the effect on screen. I didn't see anything like that. This was super well done, and as far as that aspect of it goes. I would say that the story was simple, to the point. I don't think it needed to be more complicated than what we had.
No.
The character development was pretty straightforward. I mean, you kind of got like the relationship aspect. Like you knew, like, okay, the two girls are friends. You've got one couple, with this dude over here, another couple with that guy over there. All of that was pretty clear. They had a good chemistry together. I felt their acting together on screen was good. I mean, everybody had a good screen partner, I thought. I do have some thoughts written down if our idea is to basically just rate this thing based on observations that we made. So very generally speaking, I'm going to say that the video quality was good. The sound capture was good. The effects looked good. The tentacles were gross, which is fantastic. That's what you want. It had good sound effects. It even had some video effects. I was kind of surprised by that. And the actors were good, and I thought the edit was great. This flowed so nice. Like there was nothing like wasted. Like they didn't let something drag on too long before they cut it. You know what I mean? Like everything just seemed to be like snappy and quick, and I kind of like that. So overall, I'm going to say this had slasher qualities. It had aliens. It had comedy. It had deviant sexual activity, and at least one over-the-top death scene. What more do you want?
Only one. I think there was little more than one.
Oh, you think? Okay. Well, I had one particularly in my head that was like way worse than the
Oh,
other.
I got the same one. I got the same one. But no, yeah, you a lot of the points you just brought up are fantastic. And described this perfectly. I just want to reiterate what you said before with the characters and everything. Everything's basically set up. Like this is a relatively short. This is around 15 minutes. Everything we need to know about these characters is set up in the first 45 seconds. Everything you described, we know the relationships, we know the friendships. We get a vibe that these characters all interact really well with each other. And you mentioned like there's a lot of good on-screen chemistry. I don't know. I don't follow the indie scene as closely as you do, so I don't know if these people are friends to begin with. But it came off that way very quickly that these people were really comfortable around each other. And you get that a lot in these lower budget movies where you can tell none of these people know each other, and there's an awkwardness to the acting right from the get-go. This didn't have that. You legit felt like this was just four friends that decided to film a movie in their backyard. They pulled it off insanely well. The ones of the movies like these that I've seen, this one definitely pulled that off leagues better than most of the other ones. And this is you'd mentioned Morgan's directorial debut.
Yeah.
Like everything you said, like it's shot incredibly well. The framing's good. There's no downtime. And for something that's put together, like I said, a 15-minute runtime, the story never feels like it's going too fast. You don't feel like you're getting confused by anything. I was blown away to find out that this was somebody's first attempt.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's exactly what I was thinking. When I watched it the first time, I was like, if this is a first attempt, and then we can expect great things in the future, because this felt very, very well thought out, very well planned, very well executed, and pretty well polished. I mean, 15-minute short film. I mean, what's to stop her from doing a 40-minute short film, not too in the distant future. And before we know it, we might see a feature. But kudos. This was awesome.
Yep.
So I thought, since you are from the Hormonal Werewolves and you have a habit of rating movies out of 5, I thought I would steal your rating system for this one. I want to put a number on it, and just have a little bit of fun with that. Because I like this so much, and I didn't find too many clunky things. There was only one plot point that I was like, really? We're just going to drop it there and move on? All right. Because of that, I'll knock it a little bit. And I'm going to give this, I'm going to say 3.8 slimy tentacles out of 5.
3.8. That blows my mind. I don't know. It's the 8. It's the 0.8. It's 0.75.
You can't handle it. Yeah.
No, I'm inclined
to round numbers. Is that
it's in increments.
Okay.
A lot of what you said I agree with. As I said, I was really impressed that this was somebody's first attempt at making a movie. I obviously I can't remember who said it, but you can't judge these micro budget movies on the same level that you're going to judge a $200 million Hollywood blockbuster.
For sure.
Now, having said that, I would rather watch this than a lot of other $200 million Hollywood blockbusters. This was short. This was to the point. The humor in it was so 14. I don't know how to describe it. 14-year-old edgelord, but at the same time, it was self-aware that it was doing that, and it worked really well. Like a lot of the jokes in this are almost a trope of the genre in itself, and it works really well. Everything about this just was a hoot. Now, the plot point you mentioned, I know what you're talking about, and I do feel that if we maybe someday get a 40-minute movie or a feature length, that is something that could very well manifest. But I mean, when you got 15 minutes, I feel that would have
Right.
definitely added too much to a simple
Of
story.
course.
But yeah, I'm around the same boat as you. So, and again, I'm a sucker for 14-year-old edge. If anybody's seen my videos, I'm a sucker for 14-year-old edgelord humor. So I'm going to give this 3.75 because 8 is just masochistic. 3.75 sausage pizzas out of 5.
Excellent. Well, there you have it. We're in agreement. So in a nutshell, it's great. Good job to everybody involved. And I hope to see more in the future. And hopefully the other projects that are going to be put together with this are just as good. Because if it is, that Amityville Alien series is going to be incredible. So
it made me look forward to it. So
yeah, me too. All right. Well, on behalf of myself, on behalf of Canadian boy Ryan, and on behalf of aliens that like to molest you with their tentacles, I say, remember.
Smile, you son of a...